30 seconds have been added to competitive mode. So now 10 seconds on the timer and 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Bocage, Hardpoint, Bronze Premade, Vanguard Spring Season. These two teams are going to be interesting. Like I said, I don't recognize empty names, so definitely going to be an interesting matchup and see who comes out on top. Boston unable to get onto the point to start. London Royale with cheese actually getting really good time here, getting a pretty solid foundation here. Boston Burgers has seemingly put a lot of emphasis trying to rotate and get spawns, and that's going to pay off for them in a second. But meanwhile, London Royale has got 17 points on this P1 hill, which may not seem a lot, but on Bocage, on P1, that is kind of a lot to start the game when both teams are running at each other. So right now, I believe Boston Burgers still has spawns now, and London Royale is going to have to take them over for P2. But London, you still got that timing advantage.
Yeah, London with a good start. Obviously, like I said, P1 being so scrappy, getting a lot of time. But on the side of Boston's, they do have spawns, and they are set up for next aspect on a 3 spree to start the game. As you see, they are set up. Now watch the flank coming in, and Boston with a few kills in the feed. That'll be a good start for them, as they're just holding on to this point, getting a couple points back in this game. Nice kill there by Skystone. Got some players wrapping around this barn side. Interested to see they get a kill. He does get killed out. And right now, a really good hold out of Boston.
Yeah, really good hold out of Boston. I really love the confidence out of Skystone to just kind of sit on that P2 point, even with an AR, just taking all the gunfights they need to be able to secure the point. It's been working out really well for Boston. They've kept London out of this point pretty well, but as I say that, Boston just kind of gets wiped off the map, and London now has a P2. You'll see Boston try to chow this from behind in that number 5 player in Skystone again with the confidence, but unfortunately not able to win the gunfight. But that's okay, because Boston is now going to spawn P3, and London has already noticed that they need to rotate, but unfortunately able to do it. Boston knows where they're coming from, is looking down the key sight lines, and is holding London off for now, although London still has a small lead here.
London does have a small lead as they will look to break into this P3 hardpoint. Sometimes a tough one to break in. Boston does have spawns. Illusions with a kill in the back. He does get traded. Boston with 2 in the feed. Trade's kind of going back and forth here. That's been the way of it so far. Nice kill in the back on Hoodie Wolf on the point. And now still trying to break in. London still holding this point, though, as we speak. And another nice kill there by Not Hoops. As they're just, again, it's been a lot of trades so far, as Boston with a few in the feed, trying to get, some time here, as they will collect maybe the last few seconds, although London's still spawning in the back. They're going to continue to try to push this to get the scrap time. A good job by Boston Burgers. Wads with the 2-piece. He does end up getting traded, and it looks like London will get this last 10 seconds of scrap time.
Yeah, that's a good play from London to take back that point from a Boston who was already set up. That's not an easy point to take back, and London did it pretty well. Although, by the time they were able to take a breath on that point, it was a little bit too late, as now we are on the P4 in London. And I say that, they just kind of broke right in. Boston still has a spawn, so, I mean, their reinforcements are going to come right in, but now they need to kind of take the key battles, get the right positions to break London off of this point. Boston still has the spawns, but just not being able to find anything here. London is just gunning Boston down at every entrance. They have all entrances covered, and London has really invested a lot of effort into this hill. Unfortunately for them, they will go down with a solid, 30 seconds, I want to say, going their way. And when you are already coming into that point with a lead, that can be very, very huge, especially on a map like Bocage. Now you're up 50. That is monumental on this map.
That is. Boston does get P5 spawns, and it looks like they're going to set up here as one of the money hills on this map, if not the biggest money hill. So they're going to look to get some time here. A kill in the back, though, by Illusions. He might make this interesting. Trying to find the other player in the back. He won't be able to spot him. A little bit of timing there. Now he's going to try to get him in the back, and he does. So let's see if that'll get London spawns. He's going to try to find another one. He does. That should secure London spawns. Great work out of Illusions. It does. And London is rolling here, again, going into this money hill, looking to get more times. Illusions just absolutely popping off right now. Good stuff out of him. And right now, London with the time, although it's very scrappy right now, a lot of players around that point. Boston needs to do something to, hold it here, and obviously they get killed there, so now they got to look for another break.
Yeah, this hill kind of started as a reverse of P4, where London now was able to take over spawns in pretty quick succession, and so they got the spawns. But as we saw in P4, Boston had the spawns but was unable to break through. London got the spawns, they broke through, and they held the point. I don't know if Boston has been able to get 5 seconds here, and we're already only 10 seconds left, and Boston is nowhere near it. They know London is just too strong on this point, so they're gonna go back to P1, try to maintain spawn for P2, and well, just say okay, P5 didn't happen, but London is now gonna have to rotate well, and Boston is on the point. London trying to break through gate side, unfortunately not able to do it, but London outnumbers Boston on that P1, and so Boston still has the spawns. You can see those London players trying to creep up a little bit to flip those spawns, but Boston now has the gunny, now has come to life, and London way back P3 trying to figure out what to do, as P1 is now 30 seconds down, with Boston getting some very good time here.
Illusions again on the flank, though. Watch out for that for London, and he is all the way in the back and should secure spawns if he can find the kill. Boston player still spawning river, though, but after this point fight, they do get the spawns, and Illusions again with Dre plays that flip the spawns. London fighting for this very scrappy hill as they have close to a 100-point lead. They should be set up for P2 in a matter of seconds here, as they are looking to go that way. So good stuff out of them so far. Boston pulling it back just a tad there. Right now, just if you're Boston, the guns just, you're hoping the guns come out a little bit, because nice kill there. And that's what they need is London. A lot of their slaying power has helped them in these positions. So Boston, trying to do what they can to get back in this game, is they will have control of point now, and it looks like they do have spawns. So good stuff out of them. Let's see if they can make this a money hill for themselves.
Yeah, this is turning out to be a really good hill from Boston, coming right after a really good P1 from them. I was surprised at how much time they were able to get, and obviously, there's still a major lead by London, but if London falls asleep at the wheel, I mean, this is Boston's game. I mean, they got spawns, and they were able to hold on to P2 pretty well. It looks like the final 20 seconds will go to London. Boston playing it smart, just sitting in P3, but I mean, that leaves London at 200 to 110. That's still a 90-point deficit, despite Boston's best efforts on P1 and that P2. I mean, Boston has to come out and have an absolute money hill, and then chain that to an absolute money hill of a P4, because going even right now is just not going to cut it. And as I say that, they may not even go even. They may not even go even, because London has managed to break in his P3 point. Boston still has spawns, but I mean, we've seen this before. You can have spawns and just not be able to break this one, but I mean, as gunfire goes between either side, it looks like Boston will finally break through, get some very crucial time here, and we'll see if they are able to chain it to a nice P4.
They cannot allow too much scrap time to go by now, as we've seen this hill can sometimes, you can have spawns in, and it can sometimes actually be a spawn trap for you. It's not always good to have spawns on this hill, but scrappy toward the end here. It is a 100-point game, so Boston obviously going to need some magic going forward, but London playing very well right now, and they are set up for this P4, it looks like. Player coming in for Boston. Let's see if he gets traded. He does get one. Can he get another? He cannot. And again, London just able to use that slay power, to get this lead that they have, and now just have to close it out soon. And good stuff out of them. But contested point right now, Skystone just looking to see if he can find anybody. Can't right now, and just playing a contest game, which is fine if you're on the side of Boston. But he does eventually get killed. That's 4 down in the feed. It's looking very good for London right now.
It's looking very good for London right now. Like I said, you can't go even if you're Boston. You can't get even time on the hills, because they're just going to beat you out. And Boston getting some pretty good time, but like you said, London just slayed out there, got 4 down, and by the time Boston could even attempt another challenge on the point, well, London is now 15 seconds away. So Boston looks like it's going to be a 1v1 on this hill here. London will win. That's a huge gunfight. London retakes control of the point. Boston trying to walk in through P1, but there's just so many London players swarming all over the hill. London has shown that they know the sightlines that they need to look at, and another hill will pop, but London is only 8 seconds away. London has the spawns, and Boston knows where to look, but London is just playing with confidence right now. So, I mean, this map might be closed out in a few seconds now.
Just 8 seconds away, as Illusion's going to hop on point now. Just trying to close it out, and that might be it, as Boston spawns all the way out, trying to get back to point, trying to push front river. They will not be able to get there. London Royale with the first, with the map 1 victory, 250 to 138. a really good map out of them. And on the side of London, the guy that impressed me the most was Illusions. As you see him here with the best play, 34 and 20 out of him. I mentioned
a lot of options here, so it's going to be interesting to see how these two teams end up approaching this map.
Boston spawning on the attacking side, and it looks like they're going to favor the B side now as a three-man stack for London, so this might be open for them. Let's see how quick Boston goes. Aspect trying to find a kill there, but the bomb is going down very quickly as London will get the first blood, but let's see now with the retake, is again, a very hard retake on this. Waz trying to get the kill there, and now, wow, I just like that. London taking out all 4 Boston players, and we'll get to defused in. So London's not afraid, I guess, to retake that, and they went in and they were just running and gunning, getting that objective back.
There's a lot of times where I'll say something on the stream and then I'll immediately be proven wrong
by
what happened in the game. I'm thankful that this time actually didn't turn out that way because, like I said, you can play this very fast. And we did see a very fast round of S&D. That one kill on that Boston Burger to start was so important because you just saw London wrap right around the entire map to catch the rest of the Boston team, to catch the backs of the rest of the Boston team, and it just kind of collapsed for them. But Boston now having their own turn at defense, and let's see if they can learn from London's plays.
Just like last round, it looks like the offensive side sort of kind of having a free plant as Nothoop's going in slowly, and he will be able to get it down if he so chooses now, and he will. As that player for Boston coming back up, trying to spot him, does spot one in the window, but one going down on the side of Boston. The bomb does get down on the side of London. They're in a good spot right now, and now it's trying to get regrouped. But right now, London is just slaying out. It is all down to Waz on the side of Boston. He gets killed, and London Royale just coming in and making it look easy so far. 2-0 to them.
Yeah, I think London is really getting confident with these gunfights. I think that Bocage really put a pep in their step. And now, even on their offensive rounds, London is just kind of pushing up, just kind of attacking Boston members. And this could be a very risky play style if they aren't absolutely on top of their game. It worked out there, but we're going to have to see if that streak continues. And now Boston down 0-2. This is the time you send a really strong message.
Yeah, they would love to have this one. As going B-side again, do get the opening kill. His Aspect with the grenade kill there. And now looking to get that bomb down again. So another quick plan out of them as now the lives in favor of Boston right now, 3-2. Illusions in the back, trying to find the pick to be able to move in as he might have been spotted there. Just looking for that other duck, waiting for his teammate to come over. But you looked at all those Boston players on that side, just defending that bomb site. So, if you're London, you got to make some magic here. So it looks like they're going to try to group up here and make the plays. Only 18 seconds on the clock, though. Skyson does spot one, tries to get shots on, can't. And now a big gunfight on outer docks is going to be won by Illusions, but time is running out. 10 seconds on the clock, and London's got to go. Coming from the back is a London player. He's going to get killed, and that should do it, and it will. Boston Burgers bouncing back, and now the series is tied 2-1.
That was a very important round for Boston. I mean, they were able to get that kill off the rip, which was just so important because, London's a team you really want to slow down. You don't want them playing at full force. You don't want them playing with confidence, and you don't want them playing fast. Anything you could do to make them kind of second-guess their play is going to work out way more in your favor than I would say a normal team because London is just really such a confident team. So getting that first kill was really great for Boston mentally. And you saw it play out. Boston was able to get a really nice win going up 1-2 in the series. But we'll see Boston now on defense.
London, again, just sprinting to that A side is they're going to look to try to get the bomb down here. 1 down for both sides. 3-2 live advantage in the favor of London. Now you have Aspect trying to come back as the bomb does go down on that A site. Now watch this pinch though from player number 4. It's Waz as one kill there for Aspect. That's a big kill. And now Waz has come behind. Let's see if they can make something happen here. Both players on opposite sides of the map, but maybe looking for a pinch. And this might be bad timing for Waz as it is. Tokyo will kill him. It is all on the Aspect now with 20 or so seconds on the clock. He's going to try to go to the side of the train. Doesn't see anybody. Just looking for that pick Can't find it, and he will get killed from behind. London Royale coming back and taking this series to a 3-1 lead.
Yeah, that was probably one of the slower rounds we've seen so far, but I mean, it worked out in London's favor. They were able to bring it to a 2v1. I believe it was a 2v2, I believe, and then maybe a 3v2 at one point, but they worked out in London's favor, but you see Boston getting some confidence. There was a key 1v1 gunfight that one of the players won over at Patio on the bomb site. And, well, you win a gunfight like that. And, I mean, you have more confidence going in. So slowly but surely, Boston is coming back alive into this game. And they're going to go for this fast bomb plant here, but unfortunately gets first blooded in the bomb site itself. Skystone trying to back up their teammate and get that kill, but unable to do so. So a rough start for Boston, but here we go. It's going to get spicy pretty quickly.
Tokyo seeing them going for that fast spin again on B, and he said not today, shutting it down. Tokyo with another kill. He's on a 5 sprint. I believe he's 9-1 at this point. Is London taking a 4-1, a very clinical round out of them, and a big round coming up. I would argue a swing round for the rest of this map.
Yeah, this is a big round coming up. I mean, if you're Boston, 5-1 is looking grim. I mean, 4-2 looks not great, but a little bit better. And you see London really switching up their plays. I remember the first and third round, Boston tried to bring the bomb over there. I didn't see a London player on bomb site. Like, I'm just so conditioned to like looking out for it as a player. But they did it that time, and so you could see them changing up their plays, and that caught Boston off guard. But Boston, back in this round, gets another first blood, and, well, we talked about how important that was last time. Let's see if they can close it out here.
First blood, obviously so important, and Aspect does have the information that there is somebody on B trying to find the kill in the back. The bomb will go down on that B site, and now it's going to need to be a Boston retake on the B bomb, as Waz just sitting in this P2, maybe looking for the flank here. As the timing here might be interesting, as Hoodie Wolf, knowing that there's people back there. Big shot here, and he does get killed out. 3v2 on the side of London, as Aspect trying to come from the front there. Big kill, and now it's all left on Donda, and he will get killed. 5-1 in the favor of London.
5-1 in the favor of London. It's looking like a mountain to climb for Boston, and that was honestly a really great round out of London. One of their teammates dropped and got first blooded, and Boston had a 4v3, but London just kept composure, just played together as a team. They just kind of said, okay, we're in this situation. Let's just kind of group up. Let's play the spots we know, and ultimately they were able to bring it from a 4v3 to a 3v1, and I believe they closed it out with 2 players left alive. So really great composure out of London here. And Boston 1-5 in the map. And you have to play perfect Call of Duty. Not impossible, but very difficult to do.
Illusion sitting on this A bomb, trying to look. And this is going to be an interesting push from Boston. As Aspect with the opening kill again. A couple kills coming in, and Boston does have control of this A site right now. Look to get the bomb down in this 3v2 situation, and it'll have to be another retake out of London as both players out of the point. All 3 Boston players on point. This is going to be a tough retake as Hoodie Wolf in the back looking to see if he can just spot anybody, waiting for his teammate. He will get killed. Now it's all left to Not Hoops, as he's going to have a 1v3 here. 30 seconds on the clock. He's going to try to see if he can find somebody Cubby. Looks like there's 2 in Cubby. Trying to get shots in. Can't. Going to try to back up. Just playing his life. Not looking good here for London, but maybe if he comes on the flank, he can make some magic happen. So he will get killed. Boston staying alive. The series now 5-2.
The series now 5-2. I mean, that's a pretty convincing round out of Boston. You just kind of play together. You take them out one by one, and ultimately you get the round. So you're now only going to have to do that 4 more times. But again, I mean, Boston is actually showing some really great composure here. And I mean, if you just take it 1 round at a time, I mean, you'll hit 6 in no time. So Boston maybe setting up one of the best recoveries we've seen here on stream, but obviously they can't drop around and they can't make any mistakes.
Can't make any mistakes as London looking to attack this A side again, and Waz pushing up pretty far. Does get 1 kill. Playing very aggressive, trying to get another one. He does get the other one. Great stuff out of him, and now it's a 3v1. Make that a 2v1 for Tokyo at 10-3. He's had a great map, and let's see if he can clutch up here and get London the win. But that was good stuff out of Boston. Waz playing very aggressively. Tokyo does get spotted in the back, and now 2 players know he's there. He's trying to get the grenade kill and does get one. It is now 1v1 Tokyo looking for that last player. It is Waz who started off this round very good. Tokyo with the jump up into Cubby. Looking for Waz deep hallway. Can't get him. Is that an AR versus a sub? Tough situation there. Tokyo does grab the bomb, and maybe will now look to go B. Waz will get that indication that he picked up the bomb. Tokyo coming around here. He's going to see him. Can't get him, though. This is a big fight. Pistol out now. Tokyo looking for the kill. Can't get it. Tokyo with the clutch. The 1v3 clutch. And London Royale will win the map 6-2.
Oh my, that was quite an interesting round. But I mean, even though Boston lost that round, you got to
get 2 out of the 2 maps is a lot harder to win offensively. But you know, obviously not. It is still very tough on Tuscan. Is going to have London on offense first, attacking this A site, as they do have 1 player going through P5, maybe trying to catch some Boston players off guard, but nothing really going. I mean, kind of players are stealing each other out. As kill mid there, and that's 2 down for Boston, as London looking to get this A point, as they are getting progress. Tokyo with another kill. It's been a good start here for London. Boston trying to get in to preserve that A point, but it's going to be 2 ticks for London, and they will look to close this A point out quickly. And now if you're Boston, and it looks like they are, they might be chalking this to look at that B site. Watch that player in the back, by the way. I didn't even notice for London, because it looks like he will get killed, but really, really good start here for London.
Yeah, really great start here for London. That player number 4, Tokyo in the back, did get killed, but did cause a lot of disruption to what Boston was trying to do. And if you're Boston, you had a really bad start, but, you know, those happen. And, you know, if you lose A, it's not the worst thing in the world. You just got to make a stand here on B. And you see those players of London trying to attack that back. They know how big of a disruption it causes. And Boston looking for that and being able to take that player down. But over on the B side, Boston goes 2 down, and now their remaining members have to figure out what they're going to do on this site. So we see Waz, who almost gets a 2-piece, but gets a very important kill. But unfortunately for Boston, their teammates are spawning as London is 2-capping this point, and there's 2 ticks down. Boston could still do this, but they have to get the kills now.
Illusion with 3 in the feed, and now it's getting dicey for Boston, as they're going to have to try to break in here. Trying to get into the point is just seconds remaining. A kill there, trying to find the other one. Doesn't get it, as it's going to be a team kill, and that might be the bane of their time here. As Tokyo trying to find the kill, it won't matter. London with the quick cap on that B side, and the story of that round for London was they again were really good in the sliding department. I think the lives at one point were like 23-12. I don't know what it ended with, but a very convincing round out of London.
Yeah, very convincing. I believe it ended at 22-7, so I'll try to keep track of kills going back and forth for these 2 teams if we make it to around 5. That was very convincing out of London. Like I said, an offensive win is something you really, really want to get, and to see an offensive win that dominant is pretty rare. If you're Boston, though, just shrug that off, right? You don't even, those kills, that 15-point deficit, may not even come into play if you don't make it to round 5. So if you get 3 straight, then you're set. And look at what Boston has done here. They sent all 4 B. London just wasn't ready for it. They had somebody watching B. Boston gets that kill, and they're kind of like 3 stacking this point. And you'll see London wrapping right around a little bit late. Unfortunately for Boston, all their members go down as London. They didn't wrap around at the same place. They took a lot of strategic position. So that was a really nice play out of Boston. I love their thinking there. Unfortunately, they couldn't execute, but they're not in a bad position right now.
They're trying it again, too. They're going right back to B, as they already have a tick there. So it was a good start for them just to get that tick. And I thought maybe they would go A after that, but they are going to try to go B. You see Tokyo wrapping around. Watch out for him. Is he going to try to find them on the flank? Does get one. Looking for another feed. He gets another one. Tokyo slaying. Trying to get another one on point, and he does. Tokyo with a 3-piece and preserving that second tick. So Boston will not be able to get that second tick on B, and they are still trying. I mean, they are adamant to get this B site, as they do have 1 player over there on A, and we'll look to maybe get some progress there. But Boston very adamant to get this B site, which, you know, traditionally is the harder one to get. They are on now, though, and I mean, they do have a second tick now. looking to secure this. This would be huge for Boston. They also get a ticket A at the same time. London a little bit all over the place right now, just trying to regain, as Not Hoop's on the point, and it looks like he will get the kill, but that was a wild sequence there for a second.
I love that play out of Boston because you could tell London is playing this map very by the books. As soon as they got that 4 down on B, London said, okay, now they're going to go for A. But Boston didn't do that. They went straight for B again, and they were actually able to get a really key gunfights there and get a lot of progress on B. As London is thinking, okay, they're just going to go for B, Boston wraps back around and gets A, while London is dealing with B. And now, if you're Boston, you're up in the kill feed right now, and you need just one tick of progress on the hardest point to go. And if you're London right now has the positioning, but Boston just having an amazing amount of confidence going into this final control point, and let's see if they can get it.
They do have those 2 ticks, which is crucial, and up 1 life. So if you're Boston, just kind of have to group up here, play as a team, get the kills. As Donda looking for the kill on the back steps, and he does get it. Maybe that opens up something for Boston. As a few down for them, though. He will get on the point and trying to play his life here, going through secret. But good job for him to preserve his life. He does get a kill before he does get killed out. And again, Boston just needing to group up and play as a team to get this point, as the lives in favor of London 8-7 makes that 7-5, excuse me. And it'll be one last push here for Boston.
It'll be one last push here for Boston. Unfortunately, once it did go back to 1 point and London knew exactly where to look, it seemed like London was just being able to set up the sightlines and get the really important kills. Boston really hasn't been able to touch it, and that's really unfortunate given the amazing play they had to start. You'll see Boston right now trying to go around the back, but one of them drops, and this number 8 will get 2. That's a big one. Now, if number 8 can't get that last one, number 5 is going to get pinched by these last 2 players. One more has spawned. Unfortunately, the pitch comes through. Boston not able to get that final kill. But man, oh man, what a round that was.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, Boston was they were determined to get that B point. Didn't get it in the end, but it really opened up that A point. And then, as we said, I mean, they had the 2 ticks, just needed one good push. Unfortunately, for them, London was able to shut it down. They did. Props to London because they did a very good job of kind of composing themselves after that crazy start and just making sure that they weren't allowing Boston to capture B. As now back on offense for London, as they will look to close this out. And right now they have kind of full range here at A if they want to cap it, as they are going to get the first point. Watch this player in the back as Aspect ran right by him. He will get killed as well. And they got that player in charge to deal with another kill there. That is Tokyo. He's had another really good game here for London. And that'll all but secure the A point, as there it goes. And now Boston has 1 point to defend, London with the lives advantage.
London with the lives advantage. Remember, once it went down to 1 point in the last round, that's when things swung around in favor of the defending team. So we'll see what Boston can do here. Aspect gets a nice 2-piece, and that's going to be huge in sending London, at least 2 of their members, back to the spawn. You see Boston, they're just all around this point. They're not going to let London have it. They said, okay, we're just going to barrel stuff you on B. And well, they get a kill. Unfortunately, 2 of them goes down, and now number 6 player is all alone on that point, gets a kill, and loses a gunfight there. And now London is in control at the point. Boston spawning right next. They're going to have to win the key gunfights, and they do. They keep B clear for now, but there's still 3 London players right there in Boston. I mean, you can't spend a lot of time here, and you got to go. And, well, Boston, as I say that, actually does. Gets a nice 3-piece. That's 4 down now. Or London back at their spawns, and Boston has a moment to breathe.
That was a really good retake because there was 2 London players in the back looking to spawn trap. And, then they had the other 2 players trying to get the point. There was a couple key gunfights. And Boston, again, like you said, being able to stay in this as lives in the favor for them right now as they're up 2. Tokyo with a nice kill there. Tokyo, I mean, just very, very clean kills out of him. Aspect sitting on this back tank area, just making sure that they can't come from behind, as he does see a player. Tokyo may be trying to go for that back church push, as they do have another player there. We'll see what they do. But Boston with 2 more kills in the feed. Tokyo with another kill on Aspect, and this may open up something for London as they're going to try to go around the back. What was that spawn Number 7 Aspect literally spawned on Tokyo. I think he literally spawned right behind Tokyo and was able to kill him. I don't know if I am sure about that, but yeah, it looked like he literally spawned right in front of him. Unfortunate there for London, as that's a couple down on the feed though. London looking to maybe secure this point as they've had no progress. 26 seconds on the clock. They do stop the clock to get on point, and now trying to maybe stack this point as they are looking for the kills. Can they get this first second progress? It looks like they will be able to, and that's 2 big kills there from Hoodie Wolf. This is troubled times now for Boston as they're going to look to retake this. London with just 1 on point right now, and again the kills going back and forth, but now make that 2 ticks of progress. And now if you're Boston, you have to go. Donda coming from the back, looking to get 1. He does, looking for another. Nobody there, but just again, kind of back and forth. Boston's done a good job to hold on though, as obviously London out now, and we'll look to set up 1 more push.
Look to set up 1 more push. There's only 2 Boston members left. There's no more respawns remaining. If Boston looks into all the right places, they might be able to get this. 1 London member goes down. Number 6 gets a kill. Number 6 falls. It's a 1v2 on point. No more respawns for Boston. No more respawns for London. London gets the final kill. That was very close, but unfortunately for Boston, it will be a 3-0 in the Tuscan control.
London coming out and winning the series 3-0. It was a great series for them all around. Like I said, I think the team